Well, hello, and welcome back to the 2020 Jeff and Jimmy show. We're going to start doing picks. Sorry about last week. It kind of crept up on us and we forgot about it. And so we'll start off week 2 here of high school and some college football. So I hope everybody is surviving the COVID issue. I don't know about you, but I'm so tired of hearing about COVID, I could turn green.
Yes.
So. First up is Cheney Belle Plaine. Cheney had a good season last year. Ended up losing the game before going to state, but I think they'll be back this year. I'm picking Cheney.
Cheney had a really nice year last year, and our PIO, Tim Myers, he's from out there. I think his son plays on that team, so I'm going to go with Cheney as well.
There you go. Next is Garden Plain Sterling. I know Garden Plain had a really good senior class last year. Garden Plain traditionally has a good football program, so I'm going to take Garden Plain.
I agree. Strong tradition out there. I'm going to go with Garden Plain as well.
Next is Andale Mulvane. Andale rolled last week. I think his 58-7 win. Coming off the state championship they had. My son was part of that. Now he's playing up at Baker University. They've lost some kids, but they have some really good kids out there. This senior class, a lot of them were juniors that played last year. I think they're going to be just fine again this year. I'm taking Andale.
I'm surprised you worked in that state championship.
Might do that 2 or 3 more times before the season's over.
Or like 12.
Yeah.
I agree. Andale's tough. I think Mulvane took a pretty big loss last week. I think Andale's just going to be a little too much for Mulvane, so I'm going with Andale.
You got Rose Hill Clearwater. Don't know much about Rose Hill other than the game they had last week. Clearwater still has a really good quarterback that got hurt last year but is back playing this year, so I'm taking Clearwater.
I agree. I don't know a lot about either of these teams, but I think Clearwater's a little stronger, so I'm going to go with them as well.
Next up, we got Wellington Collegiate. Wellington was pretty decent last year. I think they beat Collegiate last year. I'm taking Wellington.
I think we're going to differ on this one. Collegiate has the ability to attract some good players, so I'm going to go with Collegiate on this one.
That's what you call it.
Attract, yes.
Next, we got Goddard Valley Center. I'm taking Goddard in that game.
Goddard has a nice program out there, and our social media deputy, Jordan Seemiller's from out there, so I'm going to go with the Goddard Lions.
Next, we got Salina Central and Eisenhower. I think this will be a pretty good game. Salina Central's a lot better than Salina South. But Eisenhower came off a pretty decent season last year, so I'm taking Eisenhower.
I agree. I think this is going to be one of the better games of the week. A lot of the kids in my son's fraternity went to Goddard Eisenhower, so I'm going to go with Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Sound logic.
Yeah. Mays South and Salina South. Like I said, Salina South has been down for several years. Mays South has a good program, really good coach out there. I'm taking Mays South.
Totally agree with you. Mays South, they're chipping right on the heels of Mays and Carroll and Northwest on that being the best team out west, so I'm definitely going with Mays South.
Okay. Next up is Bishop Carroll Capon, Battle of the Catholic Schools. Traditionally, Bishop Carroll has just been a really good program. Beings that, what we're having to face right now with all the COVID issues. I really haven't looked at the paper much about who's who and a lot of these teams, but I'm going to take Bishop Carroll this game.
Capon, they had a really bad season last year. They brought in Weston Sharts as the head coach, and they whooped Dodge City, I think, 42-0 last week. So, and Carroll's coming off a nail biter, came down to the last possession of the game, but I think Carroll's a little stronger, and my sister's kids went to Carroll, so going with Golden Eagles.
Next up, we got Northwest and West. So it's really, I'm really glad to see that the City League is going to be able to play football and volleyball and the other fall sports. I think it's really important to keep the kids. That's one thing that helps keep kids in school.
Absolutely.
Sports, without a doubt. And so I understand all the worries and those type of things, but I'm really glad to see the City League's going to play. So I'm going to take Northwest absolutely in this game.
I agree. I think it was pretty neat what happened out in Wichita. They made a decision, the parents, the students, the coaches spoke up, they reconsidered their decision, and they changed course, and I think that's awesome. I think it's the way government should work, and my hat's off to 259 for doing that. As far as Northwest, again, I'm not biased in any way, shape, or form, but they're coming off 2 state championship appearances. They've got, I think, already 6 kids with D1 offers, so they're the creme de la creme, I think, in the state, in the Wichita area this year, so I'm going with the Grizzlies.
Yeah, the Bolden kid, I know his parents really well, and was around their daughter who went off to college in a track scholarship, and he's legit. He can play.
They've got some ballers out there.
Next up is Derby and Newton. I know Derby got beat last week, which was kind of surprising.
Yes.
What might surprise you more is Andale played Derby's JV last week and beat them 44-7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is the empire crumbling?
So, with their 100-plus kids they have, it was pretty amazing, to be honest with you. So, however, I'm taking Derby. I still think they're going to be really strong this year.
Yeah, they got pretty well manhandled up there by Mill Valley. There's no shame in that loss. That's the 5A state champion. I think 5A is actually a little better than 6A. So there's not a lot of shame in that loss, but I think they're going to rebound nicely against Newton and get the victory in this one.
Last of the high school games is Mays at campus. Mays is coming off a really good season last year. Actually, campus had a good season last year, though, too. But I'm going to stay out west and take Mays.
Mays' last 2 seasons have ended at Northwest High School, and there's no shame in that. That's one of the better teams, and they're right on Northwest heel, so I'm going with Mays.
Okay. Well, one little tidbit of information here. Jim, how long have you been with the sheriff's office?
Since September 9th of 1996, sir.
Well, I've been 24 years ago.
You're quite good at math.
Luckily, you let me know about it beforehand. So,
I'm a humble person.
well, congrats, and
Thank you, sir.
glad you're still here with us, and hopefully for many more years. So,
Yes, sir.
So now we move on to college, and if you don't know it, we have a little teleprompter thing telling us what games to pick from, and gee, I don't see any Big Ten schools on there. They play football?
They do. They have a great concern for their student athletes, and they're not suiting up this year.
Oh, is that what you're going to roll with?
That being said, I get to Vegas a little bit every now and then. I bet if we went to Vegas, some Big Ten teams still have better odds of winning the national championship than Big 12 teams. They don't fare too well in the bowl games, do they?
First up is Kansas State at Arkansas State. Actually, Arkansas State was on TV last week.
First play of the season, I think a guy took the touchdown for like
And he
70-some
did.
yards or
He
something.
did. So I'm going to take K-State. I got a daughter going up there, and they're a little disappointed because a lot of them can't get in the game, but I'm sure they'll figure out a way to watch the game.
K-State, Kleeman, it looks like he's taken over Bill Snyder's scheduling philosophy, scheduling the fringe universities, Newman's. I don't even think Newman has a football program, but if they did, I'm sure K-State would schedule them. Everywhere I'm seeing, they're picked to finish 7th or 8th in the Big 12, so this will be, I think they should get the W in this one. It should be a good game for them.
Should be a good game for them. The key to it, though, is that they're playing.
They are.
Yeah.
They have a
So
nice,
we'll just leave it at that.
They have a nice courtesy, what is it, 50,000 seat stadium. It's cute. It's a cute stadium.
At least they're playing.
Absolutely.
Next up, we got Oklahoma, Missouri State, taking Oklahoma in that game.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. I'm hoping Oklahoma gets serious about defense this year because offensively they're stacked. But to compete with the big boys in the SEC and Big Ten, they need to focus on defense to avoid a relapse of that LSU bowl game. That was pretty bad. No offense to Tim Myers.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was ugly.
Next up, UTEP at Texas. I'm taking Texas in this game as well.
Yeah, I agree. Tom Herman, he recruits really well. The team underperforms, but they should be able to handle this one.
Last game is Coastal Carolina and Kansas. For you KU fans, you went to Coastal Carolina last year and got beat. We have one kid that I know his parents really well, and he starts and plays up there at KU. So I am a KU fan when it comes to that, but I don't see him beating Coastal Carolina in the first game. Les Miles is going to have to step up and show that he's actually turning around the program for me to actually say that they can beat a team they lost to last year.
Just for the fun of it, I'll differ with you. I want to see KU do good. I had a lot of friends that played back there in the 90s, so I'm hoping Les Miles turns them around.
We'll see.
Rock chalk.
Well, that is the end of this week's show. Please tune in. We'll do this every week like we have before. Hope everybody stays healthy and stays safe. Thank you.